Burton. I'm with the City of Ventura. This is the City of Ventura event, not a County of Ventura event. We have been running the corporate games for, this would be our 32nd year. Last year, of course, as everybody knows, we had to cancel the corporate games due to COVID. Um, at that time, we did not know what was going to happen, and we thought possibly that we could do it in the fall of last year, but that quickly uh, it was obvious that that wasn't going to happen. So we started planning for the fall of this year, something that I had been wanting to do, move the corporate games from the spring to the fall anyway. So this gave us an opportunity to kind of reset everything and come back in the fall with kind of a new approach, given the circumstances that we're under right now. So I want to introduce Tyler. You guys know Tyler Nelson. He's been here for a couple of years now and has been involved in the corporate games and is our adult sports coordinator. So he coordinates all of the adult sports leagues, anything that's related to adult activities, not necessarily senior activities, but adult activities. And then we have a new partner with us, Janine Cobian. And I'm sure that you've seen Janine in the past, especially if you played beach volleyball, because Janine has been running that program for at least 10 years and maybe longer. Um, Janine comes to us from the youth sports section and has been a great addition to our section. She brings just years and years and years of experience in ICIs and independent contractors and classes, all kinds of camps and things like that. And she's already helped our division immeasurably. And so between the three of us, we're going to be your new team for the corporate games. So uh, I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy working with these two individuals. They're top quality people. They're good people. They're people persons. They're people, and they love sports, love activities, and they love Ventura. And I think this is just going to be a great team to help you guys have a great time in the corporate games. Um, Now, having said that, I think I'm going to turn it over to Tyler, and he's going to go ahead and get into our agenda a little bit deeper. We have we have quite a few things that we want to discuss, and he'll kind of give you the groundwork on how things move forward at this point. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it. And hello, everyone. Welcome to a corporate games coordinator meeting 2021. As you can see on the screen right now, this is going to be our agenda for the night. Tonight, I'm going to be going over for corporate games registration, how it works, event selection, going through how scheduling works for all of our events, what happens, what you can expect on any given day for any given event. I'm not going to go into too much detail for each event, but I want to give you a brief general overview of how most of our events work. Then we're going to talk a little, do a little exploration into our Team Unity events. We still are going to be doing these this year, so we're still going to be giving out the overall points trophy and the Team Unity award as well. Then I'll be going into our waivers. Things are going to be a little bit different this year. And then going down to rules, rosters, how to put your teams together. All right. And for the most part, almost all of our information is available online. And it's really our goal right now tonight to give you the resources that are there so that you can refer back to. At any point during this speech, during this conversation, our presentation, if you have a question, please feel free to open up the chat, type it into the chat. And then either Eric or Janine, if they're available, will do their best to answer it. If they don't get a chance to, then we will, at the end of the presentation, go through all of the questions, try to get them all answered for you. This meeting is being recorded, and it will be posted online at some point in the next week. And our chat and our Q&A as well will be posted. All right, so let's get into the fun stuff. So registration and selection of events. So for this part here, if you'll excuse me, okay. Some of you have seen this page. Some of you may not have, and some of you have already turned it in. So those who have, thank you. If you go to our corporate games, City of Ventura corporate games page, you'll come to a page like this. And we try to have as much information as we can right at the front there. And probably the most important page you're going to have is this one. This is our corporate games registration information. Once again, just go into registration, go ahead and click registration form. This right here is going to be your way of communicating to us the things you would like to participate in and how best we can interact with you. You can see here we need all of your information, your contact information, there are 5 different ways to get registered. You can choose whichever one you prefer. A lot of people like to write checks. Some people can call in with a credit card. You can deliver the checks either through mail or in person. And we also take phone registration and online registration as well. And we'll be getting into online registration later. Your first role, if you're looking to sign up for corporate games, is going to be to try to figure out what division you fit into. Normally, corporate games is broken into 4 divisions, AA, B, C, D. However, we're not expecting as high of a turnout as we have been in the past. So we decided that this year we would try to condense our divisions. So we have our smaller DC division, which would be businesses that have 10 to 150 employees. They can select up to 10 events. For our larger companies that fit into the BA category, those are businesses with more than 150 employees, and they can select up to 17 events, and as well, they get to put in 2 teams for each event that we allow. Over to the right here, you'll see these are our Team Unity events. To be eligible to receive the Team Unity Award, you need to complete at least 3 of them. So go ahead and try and put your groups together to figure out if this is something that you think you can be competitive in. These aren't events for points. These are more about teamwork, camaraderie, building, giving back, and showing spirit for what corporate games is about. If you scroll further down, and this part's going to be a little bit more hands-on, is going to be the list of events. We've got 17 great events that we'll be offering. At least at this fall. Some of them are going to be virtual, which means they could be online or they could be just on your own. Some of them are going to be in person. For the majority of them, they are all out. For the majority of them, they are outdoors. Various group sizes, but we do want to try to promote as much outdoor activity as possible. Some of them are indoors, and whenever they are indoors, they're going to have their own set of rules that you'll have to follow based on the host. All right, so registration is due September 10th, so you have a little bit less than a month to get everything organized and get into it and get your information to us. So if this is something you're interested in, if you have any other questions, please let us know. But we'd like to have this form, if possible, by September 10th. That way we have about 2 weeks to try to put together all the schedules. So as far as scheduling goes, from our corporate games page, as you see here, all the schedules are going to be available on Team Sideline starting September 24th. If you click on Team Sideline, it'll take you to our City of Ventura Team Sideline page, and you can see right here our lovely advertisement for corporate games right now. But once corporate games kicks off, this is really going to kind of be your go-to for information about the events. On this big page here, we're usually promoting some kind of event that's coming up or some program that we're hoping to run. And as we scroll down, we see our ticker here that has all the games that are going on. Tonight we have actually playoffs for one of our co-ed softball divisions. You scroll further down and you'll get into more promotional material that we're doing. Right now we're promoting for all of our adult sports leagues starting in the fall. And over here on the left is where you'll actually find schedules. Right now we don't have anything corporate games, but once we have schedules for corporate games, you'll be able to scroll over here. You'll be able to see corporate games 2021. And you'll be able to see an event. Maybe you're curious about how corporate games soccer would work. So you'd click on soccer, you'd scroll down, you'd find your division. It would take you to a page that looks similar to this. And as you scroll down, there would be a schedule much like this, but with the correct days, times, and locations for your events. But that's just a really quick, brief overview of how Team Sideline works. So go ahead and play around with it. Once again, schedules will be available on September 24th. Right now, if you do find our event details on Corporate Games, you'll see a very loose calendar of events. I say loose because this calendar was designed back in May, and we've had to adjust things since then, just based on weather, based on expected, expected registration. So this is a very loose idea of when we can expect events to be held. So don't write it down right now. These are not hard in stone events. Everything depends on registration, weather, etc. But this gives you a general loose idea of when things are going to be held. All right. All of our events, for the most part, are going to be single elimination, but we'll have a consolation bracket to determine first through fourth place. Events such as softball will be single elimination. There are a few other events such as mini golf or golf, in which case you show up, you compete, you get a score, and once you have your score, you wait to hear the results. But for the majority, but any of our head-to-head sports, they're going to be single elimination, and then a consolation to determine the first through fourth. Almost all of our events are going to be held throughout the city of Ventura. And on the same page with the calendar is where you'll actually be able to find the locations for any of our events. As you'll see here, 5K run is virtual. Axe throwing is the one that's probably farthest away. It is out in Simi Valley. So nicer for some of those Newbury Park teams. But for the majority of events, they are in Ventura. Mini golf, kickball, pickleball, men's softball, etc. They're largely going to be held at Camino Real Park or Ventura Community Park off of Kimball, or any other hosts around Ventura. I'm sure most of you know Buena Lanes and golf and stuff. Okay. Events on weekends are going to run generally between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. We do want people to have a little bit of time on weekend evenings with their families and friends. As far as any events that are on weekdays, as you see, sometimes we do have to schedule some on weekdays. All those events are going to be held after 6 p.m., so after normal business hours, and they'll all end between 9 and 10 p.m., depending on how far into the tournament your team goes. Some days you may show up and you only have one game to play. However, we try not to design the schedule like that. You may end up playing multiple games on any given day, especially if the further and further you go into the tournament. I know for the most part, we try to end, for instance, soccer. We try to have our entire soccer tournament in one day. Usually registration kind of ends up like that. Pickleball will probably all be in one day. So some events may be stretched out into multiple days, but other events you may be there for one day and you're there for a while. Okay. At this point, I'm going to pass it over to Janine as she's going to go over our Team Unity events. For any information further about Team Unity events from our Corporate Games homepage, go ahead and scroll down to Welcome Team Unity Award Activities. It will bring you to this page. You can scroll down, and here's a full breakdown of how our Team Unity Award events work. But as of right now, Janine, go ahead.
Perfect. Thank you, Tyler. Yeah, so like Tyler said, we have 4 Team Unity activities that you can sign up for to potentially win at the end. You need to participate in 3 out of the 4. We're really excited for the Team Unity events because for us, it would be an opportunity for your businesses to team build, to get together. It's not an athletic competition, so maybe people like today was saying who might be working remote can participate in designing the t-shirt or the photos or whatever might be. So 4 different opportunities for all 4. The submission for participating in each event will need to be turned in by October 29th at 5 p.m. And as you can see on this page, it's a detailed description of each event and how you would do it. A little different than we've done in the past if you've been participating with Corporate Games for many, many years. As so many of us have. We just pivoted and we're just trying to give opportunities. So a little different community service. We're not going to offer any through the city. I know back in the days we did big beach cleanups and so on and so forth, but due to gatherings and all that great stuff, we're going to encourage you to find something either in your city, if you're in Thousand Oaks or Newberry Park or whatever it might be, or close to your business. So you can create your own community service, or you can participate in a local community service, and then we just want you to document it. And it's not up yet, but soon you'll see under community service that there is a volunteer tracking form. So you'll just turn in the tracking form with some photos of your awesome community service and your group together working on that. And then for the photo contest, you are able to submit 10 photos per 3 categories. And the categories are the group spirit shot, the best action shot, and then the third is best community service. So you can also use your pictures from community service in that. And then sand sculpture, little different. Typically, we would do sand sculpture at closing and everybody would be together and we would have judges and all that great stuff. But we're going to allow you to do your sand sculpture on your time, team build, whatever, wherever your closest beach is. So if you're from over the hill, you could go to Zuma, you could go to Venice, whatever it might be. Here, you could go to Oxnard, you could go to Ventura, and you're going to basically document your sand sculpture and the building of it from kind of start to finish. So give us some details and some different views of it too, kind of the front, the back, and all that great stuff. And then the t-shirt design contest, again, is a little different this year. You're not going to send the actual hard t-shirt into us. You're going to just send the artwork. So it just needs to be a high resolution with your design. So I know some companies are going to make t-shirts this year, and that's totally okay. You can just design it as if you were, and then you're going to submit that and then make sure it has the torch and the theme on that, and we'll be good to go. For the submission on all of these community service activities, you're going to submit you'll see it there, you're going to submit to the email cgphotocontest@cityofventura.ca.gov. So even though it says photo contest, that is our email for all 4 of the community service activities. So again, 3 out of 4 to qualify for winning at the end. And then we are going to let you know the winners of that by November 5th. So I think that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat and we can answer. Thanks.
Thank you, Janine. Thank you. Okay. As Janine said, again, if there are questions, please go ahead and throw them into the chat and we will do our best to answer them. All right. Moving on. So this year, so in the past, we've always had participants fill out an online smart waiver for participation. And we have access to this, so you don't need to print out your own and bring them. This year, however, things are going to be slightly different, and those have not been finalized as of yet, but it will be something along the lines of having the smart waiver to fill out online, and then either a COVID waiver attached to it or separate from it. I think we are still in discussions as far as that goes. But to get to the waiver, once again, from our Corporate Games homepage, scroll down a little bit, click on Smart Waiver. All right, and it'll take you to this page right now. As I said before, this is still under review slightly, but as you can see, scroll down. Every participant individually is going to have to fill out one of these waivers. So their name, certify that they're 18 years old, give their company name and information so that we know who they're affiliated with, as well as email address. Click off and then agree to this document down here. Please make sure to have every participant fill one of these out. And as we get more information about any other waivers that we need people to fill out, we'll be sure to share those with you as well. Okay. As I said before, everybody needs to fill one out, and only once though. They don't need to fill out a new one for each event that they participate in. They only need to do it one time for the entirety of corporate games, and they're good to go. And as we've done in the past before, when participants are showing up to events, please remind them they need to have some kind of identification and some way of identifying that they work for who they say they work for. So myself personally, I have my City of Ventura badge. Badge works great. It's got a name. Usually it has a picture. Or even if your badge doesn't have a picture, your badge that has the business name and some kind of photo ID, driver's license, anything like that would work as well. However, we also will accept pay stubs if we can see that it is affiliated with the business. And we do this because we try to enforce that this is, this is an event designed to build teamwork, camaraderie between employees of a business. It's not really for your family, your loved ones, your friends. This really is for your business to try to promote, welfare, well-being, and teamwork amongst people who will be working together. Right, and then so going down to everybody's favorite part, the rules. I know everybody loves rules. So right now the rules are available online through our main page. We scroll down here a little bit, you'll find the rules. I'll take you to this lovely page, which just like aesthetically is so pleasing. It's so vibrant and beautiful. I love it. But basically, it's just a very quick overview of all of the rules. I'm going to try and do a quick one of just any drastic changes you might expect. You might be expecting. And if you have any further detailed issue or questions with any of the rules, please refer to this page. And if there are any other questions after that, then please feel free to reach out to us. But you can see all of our events listed. And then we have, once again, the event along with who's hosting it, the contact for them, and the best number to reach them at. We have the event site addresses for all of our events as well. And keep in mind that some events, some addresses, such as Ventura Community Park, will host multiple events. It's like Camino Real Park here hosts multiple events as well. So be aware of that. Here we have a breakdown of how our points work. As we've done in the past, we're still going to be continuing. If your team finishes in first place, you're going to receive 8 points. Second place, you'll receive 6 points. Third, 4, fourth, 2, and then everybody who participates receives 1 participation point. This is how we calculate the total winner of the overall trophy, is that whichever business has the most total points between all of their events will be the overall points winner and the champion. We have here some events as well will offer opportunities for temporary placement points, such as the 5K and billiards. These are events that don't have one singular winner because there are different divisions. For example, our 5K is broken into the under 30 division, under 40, under 50, under 60, and then 60 and up for both men and women. Basically, for every first place finisher in a division, you'll receive 5 placement points. And then we look at how many placement points your team has received, and we'll assign you a position where you'll receive those total points for the overall trophy. So for instance here, if you have 2 first place finishers in the 5K and 1 first place finisher and 2 third place finishers in the 5K, you'll be receiving this many placement points. Okay. And then we'll see how many placement points you have compared to other businesses in that event. If for any reason we need to go to a tiebreaker for points, this is how we're going to settle it. Head-to-head competition, number of games, points scored, and then ending with a flip a coin if we have to. And as well, here's some more information about the Team Unity Award. Here we have a breakdown of all of our events as well, and in parentheses we have the basic projected number of participants you'll need for each team. So you'll see some of our outdoor events get a little bit bigger. Our indoor events we're trying to keep as small as possible. And then our virtual events we're running a little bit differently. The 5K you can have as many people as you want. A sandcastle contest, we're trying to limit it to 6 people building a sandcastle. And then the Notice 805 challenge, which we'll have to go into a little bit of detail with later, but we'll have 5 participants per team. Okay. As I said before, if you want some more finite information about all of our events, go ahead and scroll through here, find the event that you're looking for, and you'll get a much better breakdown of the events and how they work. But as I said briefly, the way we're going to try to enforce it this year is for our larger outdoor events, we're going to encourage teams that once your game is over, we're going to encourage you to collect your things and to leave as quickly as possible if you don't have another game. We really want to do this to increase the flow. We don't want huge groups of people congregating in one place at one time. This is the reason why we've decided to remove the opening and closing ceremonies. We don't want huge gatherings of people. So please come early, stretch, warm up, play your game. If you win, hang out, get ready for the next one. But if you don't have another game after that, please collect your things and head out as quickly as possible so we can get the next groups coming in as quickly as possible as well. You do not have to submit rosters for each event, but players will be required to show identification. And as it says here, the number of players required for each event are right here. Sometimes these aren't dead set requirements. As you'll see as you read more into the rules, for beach volleyball, you can actually play with as few as 2 players. But there are gender rules if you're going to do that. Same thing with surfing. If you don't have 5 people on your team who are going to surf, that's okay. But it will be harder to get points at that point. We feel this is the best number to have for your team. All right. At this point, we were hoping that we would have some of our hosts here to give a little bit more information about how their events will be working. Do we have Jason, Alex, or Josh on at the moment?
Yeah, you do. Jason's here for Striker Paintball.
Hey, Jason, how are you, man?
Busy. I'm on the clock still, so unfortunately, that's the joys of being the IT guy. You never stop.
Sorry to hear that, Jason. But do you think you have a minute or two to talk people through how paintball will be working this year?
Yeah, of course, man. No problem. So one of our biggest things, of course, is with everyone's concerned is COVID. Of course, that's a big thing too with us. So depending on how many teams sign up, that's going to be the big thing right now. Just let everyone know, Striker has gone through, excuse me, kind of a facelift. We've actually revamped several of our fields. We have new netting up. The pro shop has been repainted, restocked, redesigned. Everything is completely different from back in 2019 now. So that's kind of one thing we're really proud of. The one biggest thing that we're going to be doing for COVID is in between the rounds, the refs will be cleaning the markers with either sanitation spray or sanitation wipes. The refs will be mandatory to wear black latex gloves or white latex gloves, whatever we can get our hands on, just to keep everyone safe. Of course, the one thing that we're going to push for as well in the no mask or the sitting arrangement is, of course, if you're with your current business or current team, you may sit together. Other than that, we probably will be asking people to understand and maintain the 6 feet just to make everyone feel a little comfortable. That's our biggest goal. We are going to tend to recommend this year more on if you do not want to use a rental mask, we do recommend you purchasing one. You can find them on Amazon for about $10 to $15, so they're not too super expensive. So that's one thing we are going to recommend. It's going to be just like back in 2019. It is going to be around, I believe, of 7 minutes. The ref will blow the whistle when the round starts, blow the whistle when the round stops. We basically get a head count to see which team wins. It's basically going to be elimination. We will be using the 50 caliber paintball markers again. We did have a lot more people like it because it didn't hurt as bad. Not everyone's used to running up and down the field and getting shot like I am, but hey, that's okay. Other than that, we're really stoked as always to, make sure everyone has a fun time and be able to play a sport that a lot of people don't get to play normally.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jason. I really appreciate that. And thank you for
My
calling
pleasure.
in and taking time out of your day to talk with us.
So no problem. So I do have to ask if no one has any questions, I do hate to do this. I do have to get off and get back to work. So this time I wasn't able to, drive to Ventura and see all your smiling faces. I'm still on the clock, unfortunately. So
Hey, Jason, you cut out there. Did you have a question?
oh no, I'm good. I just wanted to make sure if anyone on the meeting had any questions for Stryker at the moment.
Nothing has come up in the chat. But Jason, are you okay if we give out your email to people
Of
who may have
course.
questions? Okay.
Oh yeah, you can definitely hit me up on my email or send a text message. We're here to help. That is totally fine by me, 100%.
Fantastic. Thank you. And to everyone who is still listening in, we will be sending out the contact information as well for the next events that we're going to be talking about. If you have any further questions that we aren't able to answer. And so at this moment, do we have Alex or Josh Spiker on the call?
I don't think so.
All right, Eric, would you feel comfortable talking about either one of them?
Sure. What do you want me to talk about?
You might know Notice better than I do, but I feel pretty comfortable talking about the 5K. So would you mind taking notice?
Sure, I'll take notice. Um, in the past, we have had a sort of like a what we'd call escape room experience. It wasn't definitely in the escape room, but we did a series of clues and cues that teams would try to solve. So Notice 805 came up with another um, series of puzzles and clues that teams will have a certain amount of time to solve when the clock will start at a certain time, and then at a certain time the clock will be over, and depending on how your company did solving these puzzles will determine the winners. So we were talking about before we got online, it's nice to have athletic events in the corporate games, and it's also nice to have events that are non-athletic. In the past, we've had darts and card games and all kinds of stuff like that. But with COVID, we weren't able to do that, so we thought we would come up with a virtual event that anybody can do. I think it takes a team of 5. There's an additional $100 charge for this event, but you can have as many teams as you want. So you can read over the rules, and if you have specific questions about exactly how it's going to work, I would say get a hold of Alex at Notice 805. I think his email is somewhere. I don't know exactly where it is, but
Right. Here we go.
should be down at the bottom. So contact Alex Sundling, either the call or the email address. And I think that's the best way to reach him, and he will definitely return your calls and get back to you. But I would encourage the teams that have people that are working remotely that may not want to be involved in some of the outdoor activities to do some of these virtual events that we have set up, like the 5K run or the Notice 805 challenge.
On the screen right now is the best contact for Alex Sunling, and as well the information is all on our Corporate Games webpage. And now as well, we're doing the virtual 5K slightly differently. So for those of you who remember Corporate Games in a Box, we really explored this idea with Josh Spiker, who is the owner and proprietor for Mile 26 Running Club in Ventura. We did a virtual 5K. We knew people couldn't congregate in one place, all do a 5K at the same time. So people had to find a way to do their own 5K, spread it out, find a time that they could do it for themselves. And since we're still trying to avoid large group gatherings, we felt that at least for this year, this would be a very good compromise. Make it even easier for people to do the 5K. This still is going to be free, but you will have to download an app for your smartphone to do this. But basically, what you're going to do is once your team is signed up for the 5K through the Mile 26 website, the rest of the members on your team can go. They can log in, and I'll walk you through that process really quick here. This is all going to be edited because this is the one that was before. But basically, you'll click down to sign up for the division. It'll take you to some pages. You'll fill in some information. You'll say what business you're running for, and then it will save your information. Once you do that, then you'll be able to. Okay. Well, good thing everything's all right here. You'll be able to download this app on your smartphone. It is called RaceJoy, available on iOS or Apple for free from the App Store. And the way this works is once you are ready, warmed up, you have your location, everything's ready to go. And this is for each individual member as well. If your group would like to do the 5K together, you're more than welcome to. But for the participants who are in it to win it, they're going to be downloading this app for sure, finding a good location, getting ready, and they're going to be running. So once you have your place, you're ready to go. Go ahead, open up the app, say begin your 5K, you'll run your 5K. And Eric actually ran the virtual 5K last year in October. And basically, once you hit 5K, gives you a little ding that your time is done. And then based on how the app works, it will send your time and your information to Josh, who will collect everybody's scores, compare them, and he'll be sending us the results, and we will announce the winners. Winners will collect their medals from the Mile 26 running store. Okay.
Yeah, Tyler, I can. This actually worked really well. We did the turkey trot, my daughter and I, and it was kind of fun because we could just run around my neighborhood, which is where I normally run anyway. I don't normally run a 5K. I realize I only run about 2.5, maybe 3 miles. So that extra whatever 3/4 of a mile was, a little bit different. But it's awesome because the app does all the work for you. It tracks your steps. It knows when you get to the 3.2 miles, and then it registers your time at that time. And then everything else that Josh does is basically the same. He'll put all the times together based upon your age group and everything else. And then when the results come out, then you will, like Tyler said, you will go down to mile 26 and you'll collect your medals at that point. So another way of helping those employees that may be working remotely, have not come back to the office, then this is another event that they can do.
Outside of that, we've gone through our entire meeting agenda ahead of schedule. All right. At this point, anyone, if you have questions, please feel free to type them into the chat. We're still here. We're happy to answer any questions you may have. Any questions about where things are located, specific questions about events, we're happy to address right now as well. And as I've said before, this meeting is being recorded. It will be posted. The Q&A will be posted as well, and all this information as well will be sent out, especially as events change. See, we have I see we have Alex from Notice 805 here, actually.
Nice.
Hello, Alex. Are you there?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I think we actually probably talked over you a bit. Oh, and Josh just joined us as well. Fantastic. Sorry, we just talked over you guys. But Alex, really quick, would you mind just giving a really quick rundown of how your event will be working, and then the best way to get in touch with you?
Sure. So our event's pretty much an extension of a team building event that we put on for companies, but this is being expanded to every single company that's taking part in the corporate games. So it's cool in that each company is able to put teams in, and they are able to compete with themselves as well as other companies. So I expect competition to be pretty high this year. How it's going to work is there's going to be a set period. So October 4th to the 22nd is when teams are able to actually take part in the event, and it'll be about an hour and a half that they'll have to compete in the event. So they just figure out when works best for them. It's just a matter of logging in and starting it. And it's just going to be a series of challenges, puzzles, brain teasers, and you're just trying to accumulate as many points as possible. Everything that's in there, you have all the information you need to solve things. I mean, outside knowledge may help you solve things quicker, but you're not expected to know chemistry or advanced mathematics or anything like that. It's all a self-contained, event. Max of 5 people per team, and I'd highly recommend having multiple teams for a company. It's like I said, we've put this on for many companies, and it's one of our top team building events, especially virtual.
Thank you, Alex. And the best way to contact you if anybody has further questions?
Alex at Notice 805 or corporate games at notice805.com works. I think the phone number you had up, that pretty much any number that I don't know gets filtered to block. So you should actually contact, if you need to call, you should contact me I'll put the number in the chat.
Thank you.
At 805-590-3066, extension 3. So if anyone needs to call and wants to talk over the phone about, that's the best way to get a hold of me.
Thank you. And as well, my apologies to Josh. I just spoke over you just spoke over your event right before you logged in. But Josh, now that you're here, would you like to give a much better breakdown of how the virtual 5K will work?
Sure. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Loud
Cool.
and clear.
Awesome. Yeah. If little man starts screaming, I'll call mom over.
Josh.
So I heard you briefly go over some of this stuff, and it sounded correct. But I'm gonna set up a separate page on Mile 26 link with more instructions. So that's gonna be mile26runningcode.com/corporate games, and we'll put more of the kind of the rules, if you will. But basically, the team captain is going to go on to the sign up link on that page. They're going to create their company name and company team. After they do that, every runner on their team can register for that team. So team captain, create that team name, and then all of your employees can register for the run and select to join your team, and that will be shown in the results. Runners will have between October 2nd and October 30th to complete the 5K. They will have to use the RaceJoy app. So it's free to download Android or iOS. Android or iOS. That tracks to make sure you do the actual distance, and it'll tell you when you're done and automatically stop and all that. But you do need to do that entire distance. If you do 3.0 miles, it will not count for anything. So you have to do the full 3.1. And yeah, the app automatically sends the results to our database, but you don't have to do anything after you do that. If for some reason you're having trouble downloading the app or whatnot, you can use a GPS watch and send or email me that data, and I can do it. But we do want to make sure that everyone does the full 3.1 mile course. So like in the past, we did it where people could just submit it on their own, but we're trying to add a little bit of officialness, integrity this year, and so you do have to make it official. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer anything.
Thank you, Josh. And if someone wants to reach out to you personally, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Josh Spiker at gmail.com. So JOSHSPIKER at gmail.com, or you can call myself 805-258-6361.
Appreciate it.
Yep, no problem. Yeah, and I don't know on the course. I think you said this before, but you can run on any course you'd like. So you can run in Ventura, you can run in Thousand Oaks, you can run in Ojai. Technically, if you wanted, you could find a really fast downhill course. The only rule is the distance. Well, no bikes or anything, but you do have to
Don't
run
give
or
away my
walk.
secrets.
Yeah.
Josh,
I
don't
can
give
see
away my
people's
secrets. All
flaws
right.
and records. Cool, thanks.
Everyone who is here, thank you very much for being here, listening to our presentation. We're very excited to be hosting Corporate Games this year. We think we're going to put together a fantastic event for everyone. We cannot wait to see everybody's excited, happy faces out there again. You know, playing sports, building teamwork. We know a lot of people probably haven't had the opportunity to see their coworkers or to really engage with their community again. And so we think this is a really good way to bring that back, safe, fun, and in engaging way. So we're looking forward to it. Thank you all for being a part of it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Look forward to seeing you. Thanks, Josh.
Josh, thank you, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
No problem. Good seeing you guys.
All right, Josh.